Hot Mic is brought to you by Red Wing Shoes of Fargo. Built to last. 3003 Main Avenue, Fargo.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Good Monday morning. Welcome to this, let's call it a Championship Monday edition of Hot Mic. Thanks for joining us, however you are. WDAY Extra, KSFL TV in Sioux Falls, KNBN in Rapid City, also streaming on Inform.com. Happy Monday. Let's get back into it. Another week starts now. It is what is today? 15th day of June already? Can you believe that? No, I am not Dom Izzo. He is got the whole week off. Much-deserved time off for our guy, Dom. It's been quite the year. A lot of stuff happening this year. I think this is the first vacation he has taken in about 365 days, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe less, maybe more. But much-deserved for him. He's got a busy week. So in the meantime, you're stuck with me. Sam Getzinger here with you. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here. We are in an interesting time in the sports calendar right now with the NBA and the NHL now has concluded. Professional sports, at least the power professional sports, are in the calm of their storm throughout the year as of right now. So the question is, I guess, what do we do now? I know there's still plenty going on. It was a great sports weekend. We'll recap as many topics as we can. We'll recap those finals in just a little bit. Of course, you got the College World Series going on, Twins going on. I hear there's a pretty big soccer tournament or football tournament, if you will, going on as well in the World Cup. We'll touch on that as well. NCAA track and field championships have come to a close, so a lot to get to on this Monday morning. There's no doubt. If you want to be a part of the show this week, here's my PSA for the week. Don't email Dom. I don't think he's checking his email. Who am I kidding? He's probably checking his email. But if you want to be a part of the show, if you have any comments or any questions you want answered, you got to email me. Got to email the Hot Mic email or myself, and we'll get you that way. Let's let Dom enjoy his week off, and we'll try not to burn the studio down in the meantime. We got a whole week. Who knows what's going to happen? I'll try not to say anything idiotic over the next 5 days, but you just you never know. But with that being said, I appreciate you for joining us on this, looks like a nice day to start this Monday morning. Nice day weather-wise. I don't think it's going to be the driest of weeks coming up. I'm no meteorologist, so you'll have to tune into the news for that. But it seems like we can't catch a break outside of yesterday, I should say, to get some good weather. Yesterday was a good day if you wanted to get outside. I, unfortunately, did not. Had some stuff going on, but got outside a little bit on Saturday. It was cold. It was windy, and I think that might be the case for a little bit moving forward. We'll have to see. In the meantime, as I mentioned, a lot of stuff to get to. It was a really, really busy weekend. Both the NBA Finals and the NHL Stanley Cup, they have come to a close. So let's start off our show this morning. If you missed any of it, let's recap some of the big moments from over the weekend. And I want to start with the NBA Finals. Game 5 on Saturday. We'll turn back the clock a couple of days to Saturday in San Antonio between the Spurs and the Knicks. The Knicks looking for an opportunity to close this out, win title for the first time in over 50 years. This is how the game started over the weekend. It seemed like it was the same story, just a different chapter. Spurs out to a really, really strong start in this one on their home floor. Victor Wembanyama drilling the triple from the wing. They're up by 16 at this point. Now, with 4 minutes left to go in the second, 35-26, Jalen Brunson starts to get going a little bit, knocks down that jumper over a pair of defenders. Knicks are only down by 7, now 8 at this point, as Josh Hart goes up to the basket and draws the flagrant foul. That was a common trend for a little bit in this game. Good ball movement here. Wembanyama finishes at the rim. He draws a flagrant as well. And then this one was questionable. Brunson with the straight-on three, hits it. Wembanyama attempting to contest the shot. I'll let you be the judge as Devin Vassell knocks down the three on the other end. So it was a good swing for the Knicks, and you can see Brunson and Mike Brown not happy about what the call was. It ended up being a common foul. I know many people thought this was potentially flagrant. I'll let you be the judge. It's all in hindsight at this point. The game's over. We know the outcome. But no substantial call on Wembanyama at that point. But after that, the Knicks continued to roll 72-65 after that three from Dylan Harper. Now in the fourth quarter we go. Wemby looking to extend this series. Hammers the baseline throwdown. It's an 8-point lead. Again, to the basket. Dylan Harper. This young guy's pretty impressive. San Antonio is going to be good for a little while. They just were rough down the stretch, not in this game, but in almost every game of this series. We're getting tight here with 6.5 to play in the fourth quarter. 6-point lead. Make it a 4-point lead as Brunson tacks on two more. His performance in this game was just unbelievable. Another tough layup to the basket, driving through the lane. Knicks now leading at this point by 3, under 2 to go. Wembanyama draws the foul on Cat. He would go 1 for 2 at the line. Free throws so important in a finals matchup. The Spurs attempting to make it a game, tied at 88 at this point. And then this was one of the plays of the series, if you will. A floater from Brunson to get the lead, and they really wouldn't look back from there. 26 seconds left. This is arguably the play of the series outside of the OG Anunoby tip-in Game 4. Hart misses the free throw to essentially seal it, but Mitchell Robinson, with probably the biggest offensive rebound in New York Knicks history, keeps a possession alive. They get some more points off of that 4-point game. Now 16 seconds left. Wemby 3, no. The putback, yes. OG at the line, makes the first, makes the second. Back to a 4-point lead with 7 seconds left. Now the Spurs with one last opportunity, have to hurry to get a couple of buckets. Wembanyama throws up a brick, and that's how the NBA season will come to an end. 94-90, the final score, and your New York Knicks are NBA champions for the first time in 53 years. Have we checked in on New York yet? Is the place still standing? Oh, man, just look at social media over the weekend. The place was wild. Touch on that a little bit more a little bit later on. What a finals performance for Jalen Brunson. 45 points in 41 minutes. Great pickup for the New York Knicks. Brunson coming out of Dallas through free agency a couple of seasons ago, and that has proved to be quite the move. 45 points to will his Knicks to a victory. Mikal Bridges with 14, Josh Hart with 13. The Villanova Knicks, if you will, get the job done in a game that San Antonio, again, had the lead in and just could not hold on. This is what Mike Brown, Jalen Brunson, and our guy Cat had to say after the Game 5 and series win over San Antonio.
I couldn't believe it. That's the first thing. It was surreal. I couldn't believe that it was happening. And I am so tired. I mean, I'm gassed. And, this stuff is harder than what you think. And, you have to have great assistants. You have to have great players. But I was gassed.
Words can't describe it, but I'll say I put a lot of time and effort into trying to be the best player I can be to try and help a team win. Just really thankful I have the organization, the coaching staff, my teammates to have my back every single day. I think that means the most to me. Just will us to win. Wasn't focused on anything else besides trying to win the game. Getting stops, getting out and running, just figuring out how to cut that lead or to gain it when we got it.
It's all happening. Like I just said, I thought in my second year I would get one, after having a successful high school and college career. You never know how truly hard it is to get to an NBA Finals. But for them, God's timing was different for all of us. For him, it was 1 year. For him, it was 2 years. For me, it took 11 years, a lot of ups and downs in my career to get to this point. And I'm glad I'm able to provide Dominicans around the world with this moment, New York Knicks fans around the world with this moment, these rookies, my young fellow over here, and Ariel. You know, I'm just super happy and excited that this is a worldwide celebration for everybody.
For Karl Anthony Towns to think it would have taken his first or second year in the NBA to win a championship, that may have been a little overconfident, in my opinion, especially with what he came into with the Minnesota Timberwolves at that time. And we can discuss that topic to death on who won the Cat trade. Obviously, right now, New York looks like they have the advantage there with the championship under their belt, and Karl Anthony Towns a big piece of that. He only finished Game 5 with 2 points, but he did have 10 rebounds. Rebounding was huge in that NBA series championship against San Antonio. It seemed like the Spurs, whenever they needed a big rebound, just could not get it. So as we look back on the NBA playoffs and what happened, here's the full bracket and how New York was able to do it. They took down not Carolina. They took down their first round 4-2, and then they went on to beat Philadelphia in a clean sweep, and then beat Cleveland in a really impressive conference finals, and then beat the San Antonio Spurs in 5. Spurs obviously took down Minnesota on their quest to a runner-up finish, if you will, in the NBA. I tell you what, now that this thing is all said and done, and I had the opportunity to reflect on it yesterday, this was near picture-perfect storybook series for either NBA fans that are diehards or just a casual NBA fan. I put myself somewhere in the middle, leaning more towards a casual fan. I thought it was fantastic what the Knicks and the Spurs put together through 5 games. You had your antagonists. This is kind of how it was drawn up to be. Your antagonists in the San Antonio Spurs looked like an immovable force, an unbeatable object in Victor Wembanyama. And after the Spurs beat Oklahoma City, the defending champs, it looked like nobody was going to touch them. I think I said on this show a couple weeks ago, there's no way that the Knicks go into this series final and pull out a win. San Antonio's just too good. I was high on the train of Victor Wembanyama. He's on the fast track of being the greatest NBA player of all time. I'm going to pull back on that now a little bit. Obviously, he's got more to prove and no championships as of yet. I still think he's on somewhat of a pace, but he even mentioned it after the game. He's got a lot to learn after this season. But it was set up that way where the Spurs, no one was going to touch them after coming off that win against Oklahoma City. And then you had the protagonists in the New York Knicks trying to achieve this feat they haven't touched in 53 years, led by a hero, if you will, in Jalen Brunson, who had an all-time performance, those 45 points in Game 5, trying to slay the beast in Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. And there was, of course, a great supporting cast in guys like Cat, OG Anunoby, who arguably could have been the Finals MVP. It was given to Jalen Brunson, but OG made a very strong case to be in that conversation as well. This is his second title. He won one with the Raptors, but he didn't play in that series because he had emergency appendicitis, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. And the supporting cast, it all goes into making a great story. They overcame challenges. They were down by double digits in every single game. And somehow they were able to pull it out. They willed their way through. I think Jalen Brunson said it best in the broadcast after the game that it seemed like for the Knicks, the game started a half hour after tip-off. That's when they started to wake up and started playing, and Brunson sparked all that. There was just something about it with all the buzz around the Knicks and around the city that just really got me going, that really got me a fan of the Knicks. And I, as a guy in my position now filling in on a sports show for the week, did I want this game to go to 7? Absolutely. Or this series to go to 7? Absolutely. We have more to talk about. But I'm happy for the Knicks. I wish they would have won it at home, but you can't get everything you want. And the place looked electric. Do I agree with New York burning down the city? No, I don't agree with that. I agree being excited, no doubt. But let's let's not tear down the town. My question now with that series is, did the Knicks win it or did the Spurs lose it? I think it's a horse apiece in a sense. The Spurs definitely didn't help themselves in any case, having monster leads and then just blowing that away. But and the Knicks just coming back, it was a choke for the Spurs. There's no two ways about it. Not to take anything away from the Knicks, but the Spurs definitely did not help themselves, especially in big moments down the stretch. So congratulations to the Knicks and winning the NBA Finals, their first one in 53 years. A really exciting end to the NBA season. Now we'll see what the offseason does. What are the Timberwolves going to do? This could be a big offseason for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Are they going to go for a big name? Are they going to go for other names that are going to help out Ant? Or what's the position they're going to be in come next season to potentially make a run like the New York Knicks did, and maybe we'll get Bedlam down in the Twin Cities after Timberwolves championship. Who knows? We'll see after this offseason. I think in terms of the Cat trade and who won that is we'll have to re-examine that. I give it another year. See what happens with the pieces that they got from that trade. What do they do with them now to set them up in position for this upcoming season? We'll see. Now, while that was going on, we also had the end of the NHL season. Game 6 in Vegas between the Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes, with Carolina holding a 3-2 lead. This game yesterday, if you missed it, let's show you the highlights of that one. Carolina looking for their first championship in 20 years. They won their last one in 2006. Trying to get the job done in enemy territory. This is how it started in the first period. Early into the game, Taylor Hall beating Carter Hart on a nice wrister. That'll give Carolina a 1-0 lead. That was the only goal of the first period. Beat Hart low, glove side, impressive shot. Now later in the game, 6:35 left to go. We know this guy, Jackson Blake, making it a 2-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes, the former UND Fighting Hawk, in his first Stanley Cup final appearance. What a playoffs it was for him. So impressive. Able to get the redirect and a goal scored. Some good insurance for Carolina at that point. The watch party in Carolina, that's awesome. They did a great job all throughout that series with the watch party. I've seen clips over the last couple of weeks. Just so impressive. Now, this play is going to be talked about for a little while. 9.5 to go in the third period. Vegas with a prime opportunity on the power play. Looked like they had an opportunity on the back door. The puck comes back over to Jack Eichel, and he rings it off of the iron past Brandon Bussey, who we'll talk about more in just a little bit. But that could have been the spark that Vegas needed to climb back in this series, and they were able to do so a couple of times against Carolina in this championship series. Just, it wasn't working tonight. Empty net goal, 3-0 lead for Carolina, and they would hold on to it from there. 3-0, the final score, with UND's Jackson Blake getting the job done, getting the game's second goal, game-winning goal, scored by Taylor Hall in the opening minutes of the first period. What a celebration there. Congratulations to Carolina. First time in 20 years winning that title. Vegas looked flat. It didn't look like they were ready to be in a series-deciding game. Carolina did. And now they're able to hold the cup. Jordan Staal was the Conn Smythe winner, oldest of all time in NHL history at 37 years. Congratulations to him. Big part of that Carolina piece. Brandon Bussey, what a story. 22 saves on 22 shots. Blake with a 2-point game in Game 6 of this finals. And Carolina, no surprise, essentially, winning the series. I'm a little surprised that it went to 6. We'll get to that in just a moment. But in the meantime, here's Rod Brindamore speaking on this series and, of course, on the play of Brandon Bussey and also Staal after holding the Stanley Cup.
It's still awesome. It's just as awesome. But as a player, it was a little different because I'd worked and dreamt about winning a cup my whole life, and so that it was like a piano came off my back. This time around, I wanted it. It was for the group. Like, I wanted them to feel what it's like, and I wanted it so bad for them. So to watch them finally get it, and then when I'm grabbing it, they give it just to see the look on their faces it's priceless. Because you know how happy they were for me, and it was the other way around for me, and I'll never forget that. It's a great story. We got a bunch of these guys and that have grinded it out, and him coming over with the pedigree he had, and it could have been easy to just be like, I'm not doing this. But it was the opposite. It was like, how do I contribute to getting this? And it was a daily thing for him. I think he got better as a player, and you just watch him now. I don't know that he could have played any better. He's was a real special player, another great addition, and I think I know he was a big part of what we've just done here.
I believed in the culture. I believed in what we were trying to build in Carolina, and I was just, amazing feeling to be able to build something like that, and then top it all off with this is, it's an absolute dream come true.
You heard Rod Brindamore in his second answer talking about Brandon Bussey and the story. If you're not familiar with it, just an incredible story. His trajectory going from the USHL in Muskegon to Western Michigan, having a successful career, then being stuck in the minors, essentially with a couple of different squads. At first it was Pittsburgh, I believe, and then Florida, and now Carolina, and injuries came. They needed a guy. He answered the call and was just absolutely phenomenal for Carolina throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I think that's a lesson into not write off a player. I believe he's 27, so not the oldest player of all time, but still fairly old in terms of the young talent that's in the NHL now. But don't write off anybody because guys like Brandon Bussey will come in and rewrite the script. And congratulations to him, an NCHC guy, getting the job done. Also, Jackson Blake from North Dakota becomes the 15th UND Fighting Hawk to etch his name into the Stanley Cup trophy, and the first one since TJ did it back in 2018 with the Washington Capitals. There's a look at how Carolina was able to do it. Now you see Minnesota over on the other side of the bracket here, and the question in the offseason is similar to the Minnesota Timberwolves. What's going to happen now? Are they going to go out and get a guy that can be a big force and be either a supporting cast member to guys like Kirill Kaprizov or Quinn Hughes, Matt Boldy, Faber, you name it? Or are they going to get a guy that can jump up and be another star? Are we going to see Minnesota in a position like Carolina a year from now? Who knows? This offseason is going to be huge, and we'll touch about that a little bit more as the week goes on. That brings me into my poll question for today before we get into our first break here on this Monday morning. Now, the more we sent it out this couple of minutes ago, and the more I think about it, it's a pretty should be a pretty easy answer. And I think, what's a more surprising championship outcome? The Knicks in 5 and Carolina in 6. Obviously, the Knicks in 5, I think is a pretty big deal. I think you could make somewhat of an argument for Carolina in 6, given the fact that they're going up against a team in the Vegas Golden Knights that nobody thought was going to be there, especially after teeing up with Colorado in the series prior into the conference finals. Thought Colorado would be here, and then we have a much different Stanley Cup Finals championship series. But in the meantime, this goes to 6. Vegas looked pretty good. Brandon Bussey comes out there, a guy who has very little playoff pedigree, and plays phenomenal. I think there could be an argument for that, but the Knicks in 5 is a pretty big deal. So give us your opinions over on X, on our Hot Mike X account. With that being said, we're due for a break here as we kick things off on this Monday morning. We got a packed show today. Our guest lineup brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Coming up in a couple of minutes at 9:35, Logan Larson, senior defensive tackle for North Dakota State, will join us, talk about what he's got going on in the offseason. And as you may remember, he's running a business, Luxury Exteriors and window washing, Bison Run Company. They hammer all that out in the offseason. We'll get his thoughts on how the year's going, heading into a big year in 2026. Our guy Jeff Kolpack will join us at 10 o'clock, talk everything going on with North Dakota State football, other North Dakota State athletics. Also want to chat some golf with our guy Jeff as well. And then at 10:35, Louis-Lys Fanucci will join us, a distance runner from the University of North Dakota after wrapping up the NCAA Track and Field Championships. He is now an All-American. First time a male athlete from the University of North Dakota is an All-American on the track and on the field. So we'll get Louis-Lys Fanucci, the Frenchman's, thoughts on this past weekend in Oregon. So that's coming up at 10:35. In the meantime, we're due for a break. We're off and rolling on this Monday morning. Best of the weekend coming up next. Hot Mic returns on WDAY Extra. We do it each and every Monday at this time. Take a look back at the best of the weekend. We'll motor through this part because we're running just a touch behind on this Monday morning. But I want to turn back the clock to Friday because, in my opinion, Friday is the weekend. And we got to talk about the World Cup because Team USA had their game on Friday. And this is your once-in-a-blue-moon reminder on how to say Paraguay. But they were taking on Paraguay. And this is how it went. 7 minutes into the game, Paraguay had an own goal by Damian Bobadilla to give the USA a 1-0 lead. Hot start. Christian Pulisic, pretty solid in this game. You want to have your stars have big games in the biggest stages, don't you? And it looks like he was able to do so. He may have not gotten into the goal column, but what he was doing everywhere else, in my opinion, in my elite soccer knowledge, if you will, looked pretty good. Also in my elite soccer knowledge, this guy's pretty good too. Florin Balogun, had 2 goals in this game, then that was the decider. And Team USA wins 4-1. Now, I have been told just earlier this morning that this is a confidence-boosting win. I have no idea. I don't know anything about Paraguay, but apparently it is, and good for them. So Team USA has 3 points now in the group. They will take on Australia, which is a Group D game. They will take them on Friday at 2 o'clock. Those are the only 2 teams in this group with 3 points. Australia getting the win over Turkey not too long ago. The USA will take on Turkey next Thursday. Not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations to Team USA. Elsewhere, as we take a look in our best of the weekend, also turning back the clock a couple of more days, the NCAA Track and Field Championships. We know this gal, New Rockford Cheyenne's Kelsey Belquist, competing in the 400-meter hurdles on Saturday in Oregon. She came in 5th with a blazing time of 55:34, and a 5th-place finish means she is a first-team All-American for the University of Nebraska. Great story on her. Has dealt with injury throughout her career, coming back, doing very well in the Big Ten and now in the national level. Her sister, Emmy Belquist, just had a great performance at the North Dakota State High School Track and Field Championships, so congratulations to Kelsey and all the Belquist family. Also want to give some flowers to Jamestown's Annie Nabwe for throwing at the University of Minnesota at the championships in Oregon. She came in 2nd in the hammer throw with a monstrous toss of 240 feet. That's pretty good. She would follow that up with a 9th-place finish in the shot put with a throw of 54 feet and 1 inch. So Nabwe is an All-American for the University of Minnesota as well. Her story is unbelievable. Originally from Liberia, then moved to Jamestown, got into sports there. She has not been in contact with her mom in quite some time, and while they've been apart, she's doing phenomenal things, and she could be a world-class athlete, an Olympian-level athlete in the throwing events for Team USA or Liberia. I'm not quite sure how that works, but really impressive. Her sister, Yolanda, also a really good heptathlete for North Dakota State as well. So there's our abbreviated best of the weekend. We'll touch on some more stuff from the weekend as we go on throughout the show. With that being said, we're due for a break. When we come back, talking Bison football with our guy Logan Larson. He'll join us next on Hot Mic. Welcome back on this Monday morning edition of Hot Mic. Sam Getzinger filling in for Dom Izzo. Thanks for joining us on WDAY Extra and streaming on Inform.com. I just took a look at Dom's Twitter countdown to how far away we are from North Dakota State football, and I believe the total is 75 days away, if you can believe that. And I figure there's no better person to get us in the mood for North Dakota State football in the upcoming season than senior defensive tackle Logan Larson, who joins us in our conversation brought to you by Northwestern Mutual today. Logan, it's great to see you. You're one of the busiest guys I know. How's the offseason been for you? It's great to see you as we get ready for the upcoming year.
Yeah, Sam, thanks for having me. It's always awesome to see you. This offseason's been a blessing. You know, when you're the oldest guy in the room, you get a new level of authority, and then that comes with that. There's a lot of pressure, but pressure is always good. This year, right before I told you, they turned it up to 10 this year. Coach Knapp and his staff has done an amazing job, and I wouldn't say it's like the hardest summer, definitely the most challenging for sure.
Yeah,
working out at 6 o'clock in the morning, going straight into lifting, and then straight into work. Every single day, it's full go all the time. But that's what's going to separate ourselves this year.
I want to talk about your work in just a little bit. Again, Logan Larson joining us. Conversation brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Did you know that the news was announced, you had a period to kind of let that soak in, and then did you know, this offseason is going to be different? Or did this kind of hit you? All right, we're going now.
So you felt it when you got in the building, right when you got back in the building. We had a team meeting. Coach Polisek kind of sat everybody down, and he was like, hey, guys, it's time to go now. You're not playing some of the teams that we played in the past, right? You're not, there's some of those lower Missouri Valley teams where you might go into a week and you're knowing that you might play a half of football. Well, that's not the case anymore. You have to be prepared every single moment, every single game, and that's why they're turning it up to 10. It's something you can see. There's an extra gear that's been kicked in. They keep comparing it back to like 2011 when we moved up to Division I. That's how they keep comparing it, and they're going to treat it that way all the way through this entire summer.
How surreal has this experience been for you? You're the old guy on the team now. I had to look it up this morning. I couldn't believe you're already in your fifth year at North Dakota State. How does it feel being the veteran leader in the group and leading this team in this transition?
It's been amazing. The D tackle room for sure. We're really, really close. All of us together kind of have our own mojo going together. Definitely the closest room since I've been here, and it's a blessing to be able to come in and not only teach the young guys, but there's guys like Zach Vanderpool and Keenan Wilson, especially Keenan. It's keeping me on my toes every single day. The competition's there all the time, right? If there's not somebody there to push you, then you're going to be standing, and that's the beauty of it. Every single position group, there's competition going all around. So you're always fighting every single day, and then all the extra work that you put in beyond what we need to. It's just awesome, and we know what we're capable of, and it's going to be a great season.
We're a couple of months removed now from spring ball. Have you had an opportunity to digest how that went? You mentioned the defensive line's looking really good. What do you take away from spring ball recently and heading into this offseason workout period?
Yeah, physically, we're all a lot stronger, bigger. A lot of those guys, especially not only in just the D-line room, the entire team was young. We're a young team. So it's kind of fun to see a lot of those guys develop this winter and then show what they can do during spring ball, because a lot of we did the other day after the run, we had the guys stand up of who's been here for 3 years, who's been here for 4 years. Well, you look around and it was 5, 10, only up to 20 guys. You have about 60 other guys that have never either played for the Bison or are brand new to coming into the program. So it was fun seeing those guys develop during spring and keep pushing them. But on my end, I had a fantastic spring. I loved it. Thought I went out there and played to the best of my ability and had a really, really good spring. And we're going to have a lot of fun this year as well. Gio's dialing up some new pressures that he's coming in with us. There's a lot more schematic going into the defensive line. And we're able to just go out there and play free and fast. That's what I'm really excited about, going out playing free and fast.
That's good to hear. How much is you as a veteran, and you mentioned some of the guys that have been there for a while, how much do you and those guys that have been here at North Dakota State take the initiative to onboard, essentially, whether it's freshmen or transfers coming in? Is that something you guys take pride in?
Yeah, the standard's a standard. If something is not getting upheld to the standard of what Bison football is and what the Bison culture is, you're going to hear about it. There's no waiting around. It's a race to maturity around here. Every single day you come in and you have to understand what you're getting into, right? Otherwise, don't sign up and don't show up. And everybody that has bought in so far has done an amazing job. I'll even shout out the transfers too. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get. With a transfer coming in, you don't know what team they came from, what their culture was like. But the coaches have done a great job bringing in pieces that fit with our team, and the transfers have been absolutely amazing.
Okay, we'll see them coming up. Again, fall camp's just right around the corner, and we're 75 days away from the start of Bison football as we embark in this new journey throughout the FBS. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here, and we've told this story of what you've been working on and some guys on the team have been working on for the last couple of years. And it's what impresses me is you're not just working out and just getting ready for the season. You are actually doing actual labor during the summertime and really throughout the whole year. If I'm not mistaken, what is this, year 4 for Luxury Exteriors? Is that right?
This is year 4.
This is year 4. We're cruising right along with this, and it's been a blooming business here in the Metro. For those that aren't familiar with the backstory of this, what's the origin story of Luxury Exteriors?
Yeah, so in the summertime here at North Dakota State, you have to come out and you have to pay for the food that you're going to have in the summertime, and you got to pay for housing. So everybody goes out and gets a job. You're going out, and in my head, I was like, okay, what can I do to maybe help myself out as a business guy who likes to go out and meet with the community? Well, I can just put 2 and 2 together, right? And I started up Luxury Exteriors. It's a great opportunity of a way that we go out and help out the entire community. They're helping us as well. They support us every time we go to a door. All the meetings that we've had, it's special. And the type of people that you meet, not only in the city of Fargo, but the Moorhead area as well, has really helped us out. Keeping my weight up because I got to pay for all that food. It costs so much. But no, it's seriously been a blessing. And I thank everybody who chooses us and goes with us. But it's also great for the guys to have an opportunity to get a job as well. They need to make some money. And it's kind of just goes full circle with everything.
We're watching some video here. I had the opportunity to follow you guys for a day last off season as you were going around some businesses and some houses. And this is quite the operation you got going on. I think you told me, 10 to 15 guys from the team are working on this. And you guys are going all over town, whether it is houses or commercial buildings. And can you believe how much growth that this has taken off now that you're in year 4?
Yeah, no, it all goes back to, the hard work that we put in. And it's funny that all the things that I learned from Bison football and I instill back into the company is why it's been so successful. Showing up on time, doing the job the right way, paying attention to the details. And it helps out the guys that are doing the job as well. They're paying attention to the details and they're staying out there and they're making sure the job gets done right. But I do give all thanks to the community. Wouldn't be possible without it, without them. And then the businesses as well. The people that I were able to go out and meet with have helped us as well. Shout out, Sandy's Donuts. We do all their places, and we get the free donut cards. We're giving those back out to the community too. So it's kind of anything that we can do to give back as well has really helped us.
How do you guys manage all this? Do you have any free time at all in the off season?
I don't watch a lot of movies and I don't play video games. So I enjoy what I do. It helps me grow every single day. Either you're getting better or you're getting worse every single day. So you can choose to, waste your time looking at something that doesn't matter, or you can work and set yourself up for a greater future. And that's what I learned here at Bison football in the culture here. It wouldn't be possible. I think if I did this anywhere else, it wouldn't work at all. It's especially that it's here in Fargo is the reason why it works.
So I take it you're not over the moon excited about being in the college football 27 video game. Is that a fair assessment?
I'm so excited. so excited. I, as soon as they came with the little clip it out, I sent it right to my family, all my buddies back home. They said, dude, you look fat. But I was like, I said, I promise it's just a video game.
Video games always add 10 pounds. So has that been a buzz around this team? Have the guys been talking about that over the last couple of weeks? Because we have for sure. We're excited about it coming out just because we want to see you guys in a video game. We want to see what the stadium looks like, what the jerseys look like. Is that something you guys talk about at all?
Oh, all the time. I'm sure guys will be playing it during fall camp. We all get a free copy of it, from what, if I'm not mistaken. So I know everybody's going to be playing it all the time, but it's super cool experience. It's not, who would have thought that I would be in a video game?
Yeah, right.
Looking back 5 years, but now I'm in one of the most played video games out there right now, and it's super awesome. The guys are really excited. Hayes said his toughness was up to like an 86 or something, so I got to challenge him on that one.
Did you look at your rating already? Do you know what your rating is yet?
There was a little clip it out there of a couple of guys. I'm not too sure exactly what mine will be.
Okay. Do you have a guess at all what that might be or what you want it to be?
Anything? Ooh. See, I don't know exactly how they do the rank. All the rankings.
That's fair.
I'll give myself a solid 72. Just to play it safe.
I think you're lowballing yourself a little bit here. We'll have to see when the game comes out. I want to circle back a couple more with Logan Larson joining us again in our conversation brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Back to luxury exteriors, and before I let you go, you and I have been talking about this for the better part of a year now. Some big things are happening with luxury exteriors. You're getting a drone, is that right? The business is expanding to new ventures. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's right. We got into the drone space actually about 3 months ago. We started up the entire process, got ourselves a loan, and now we bought a drone about the size of a coffee table.
Wow.
Pretty big, and it shoots out that pressurized water, so we're able to clean big buildings downtown Fargo, the Jasper building, the Radisson Blue, water towers all throughout the entire Fargo Moorhead area. It's kind of some new technology that's out there, but it's going to separate ourselves, from everybody else in the competition. And we're the first ones to do it as well. So it's almost like we're a pioneer in the movement of it.
That's a good deal.
So we're super excited. It comes in about a week, like I said, and then we're full operation from there.
That's fantastic. Do you know how to fly a drone?
I do. I have practiced with a mini drone. Believe it or not, I've been doing some photography stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I've been getting into a little bit of photography and editing, which has been pretty cool.
Okay, we might have to commission you here at the station. So just a heads up on that. Before we let you go, I'm curious. Of course, now we're going to be going to a lot of new places with the Mountain West coming up. When you look at the schedule, was there a spot or a venue that really got you excited for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think playing in Hawaii itself would be really cool. The atmosphere there, but I'm excited to play UNLV. They're talked about the most, and they're seen as the top dog, and I'm excited to go in there, play at Allegiant, right? Allegiant Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, play at Allegiant Stadium, and I think that'll be a super cool experience. I remember playing back at the Vikings Stadium back in 23, and that was an unreal experience playing, in a place like that. So I'm excited to go down there and kind of experience the same thing.
And now this game means a little bit more than that game at US Bank Stadium. This is a conference game. It's going to be huge, and Allegiant Stadium hosting World Cup.
I got to ask you, what are you most excited for? Which game?
Oh, I think the cop-out answer is Hawaii. Have they talked about that trip to Hawaii and how you guys may negotiate that? Because I hear it could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think we might be going down a little earlier than what we think. But as a football player, you're not experiencing it, right? You're in the hotel, you do your walkthroughs, you do your meetings. It's a business trip, right? You're not there to do anything else. So like my parents are excited to go down to Hawaii and Vegas, and in Colorado, but for us, it's just straight business trips.
Hawaii and Vegas, to have that on your calendar twice in a year, that's pretty solid year. Hopefully you get to enjoy a little bit of it, but you're right, it's a business trip, there's no doubt. Before I let you go, do you have goals for yourself or for this team that you're putting in place to say, okay, this is going to be a successful season if this happens? Is that something you think about at all as we go throughout the offseason?
Yeah, I just think almost setting a new standard for Bison football is what we have an opportunity of at our hands right now. The goal of, winning the Mountain West is always going to be out there, but I see it as the greatest opportunity we're the first ones to be able to go out and do this. Like we're the first group of guys that can say, hey, when they look back, like they're the pioneers of Division football. And then, looking out, the college football playoff is always there as well too. So you're always striving to be the best that you can, and it all starts with us in this year. So we have a pretty big, there's a lot of weight on our shoulders, but I'm ready to carry it.
Well, that's great to hear. Looking forward to watching you guys play this upcoming year. Have a good rest of your off season. Best of luck with work. I know you're a busy guy. You got a busy day, so we'll let you get back to it. Logan Larson joining us on this Monday morning. Logan, I appreciate it, man.
All righty, Sam. Thank you. Go Bison.
There we go. Go Bison. Logan Larson joining us on this Monday morning edition of Hot Mike. What an impressive guy. And obviously, we talked about his ventures in the offseason. I've done a couple of stories on it over the last couple of years of what they have built with luxury exteriors. And you would think in this day and age, there's more money in college football now than ever before. And, of course, you throw in a big transition to the FBS. You would think these guys would just want to focus on getting ready for the upcoming year, but that's definitely not the case. And like you saw in the video, and like I mentioned, had the opportunity to watch them for a day last season go around town to a couple of businesses and a couple of houses, and these guys are moving. What he did not mention is that he and the team were running this morning. Now he's doing the interview, and then he's got lift coming up in a couple of hours. It's an impressive schedule that these guys keep up, and really excited but to see what they can do and what North Dakota State football can do in the year 2026. With that being said, we are due for a break. We'll step aside. When we come back, coming up in a couple of minutes, Jeff Kolpack will join us, talk about Bison football a little bit more and other topics happening in the world of sports. That's coming up when we come back on Hot Mike. We are cruising on a beautiful Monday morning edition of Hot Mike. Hour number 1 in the books. Let's get into the 10 o'clock hour. Jeff Kolpack, our guy, will join us when we come back on Hot Mike.
This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Don Izzo. It's that time. An author.
Offensive production, number 1. Number 2. I forgot.
Golfer.
It'd be like going on a 3-person best shot, and we were saying, Kolpack, you got to make a 25-footer every time. You wouldn't putt first. I'd have Tim putt first.
And one heck of a TV personality.
This game is for the Cooper Cup.
It's the Forum's Jeff Kolpack.
4! I should have yelled 2.
Here he is, our guy Jeff Kolpack, joining us on this Monday morning, as he does each and every 10 o'clock hour to start off the week. Conversation brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. How are you, man? I haven't seen you in a while.
Doing well. Hilarious that Logan Larson thought he looked fat on the college football 27 game.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, okay, do they have cutaways in the press box?
See, I was just thinking that in the commercial break.
Taller?
I was just saying, are we going to get a Jeff Kolpack?
Can they make me
flash?
look taller and younger?
That would be something.
I mean, if he thinks he looks fat, why not stretch it vertically?
You can go in, you can edit your guys pretty easily. If they have an option to edit you, if they do a cutaway of the.
Do they have our pregame show on? I mean,
they should if they want the full pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
That would be something.
Me giving Dom the business. I mean,
that would be perfect.
Big seller.
Just imagine if they had.
Can
Murray,
I roll my eyes a little more?
Yeah, right. Yeah. If they had Murray, Kentucky in the game, we had Racer 1 in our pregame set. That would be awesome. What'd you make of that conversation with Logan?
Wow.
Did you get a chance to listen to that?
Yeah, I've always known he's an impressive young man.
Yes, he is.
And the fact they're taken that business to the levels of a drone. I mean, this isn't a small drone.
Right.
This is something rather large to wash windows. Like on tall buildings.
To essentially go downtown in those tall buildings.
I want to see
there.
how this works.
Well, he's been telling me about it for this has been in the works for about a year or so. And when he first told me, I thought it was one of those tiny little drones or whatever. And as you heard him mention, it's a coffee table sized drone. And yeah, I'm curious. You got to get licensed to fly a drone. I don't know. I don't know how to do it, but it's impressive what they're doing on top of the transition to FBS.
Well, we've used our drone at WDAY. I think Mike Kappel's used it a lot on the pregame show, actually.
Yeah.
Might get a lot of use this year with new stadiums,
right?
I would think.
Right. Might as well get a panoramic view. I know we've had months. I've asked Logan about it. He said UNLV. Do you have a favorite location? Where are you excited to do the pregame show from, I guess?
Well, I think, everybody says Hawaii, but what stands out to me, I think, is Colorado Springs and Air Force.
Yeah.
And, just Air Force.
They're
America.
right there in the mountains, aren't they?
Well, absolutely. Colorado Springs, 35,000-seat stadium. I'm looking forward to it all, honestly. I mean, of course I am, but Albuquerque. I've only driven through Albuquerque on Route 66 in a trip that my wife and I did, but I've never really experienced Albuquerque. I've been to Vegas once. And that was the cover.
Just once. So.
That was a cover of the 1991 Virgil Hill Thomas Hearns.
So it's been a little while.
Light heavyweight title fight. And I'm not a gambler. I'm not a Vegas guy. But obviously it'll be fun just to be there, Allegiant Stadium and all that. And and actually we'll be there twice, right? Because of
we get the Mountain West Media Day coming up,
which isn't far away.
No, that's about a half a month away or so, and we're going to get a good grip on what's happening around the Mountain West, and essentially a good opportunity to introduce ourselves and get a feel of what's going on. Is that fair? Once that time comes around,
well, and it goes both ways. I mean, we need to get a handle on this league,
right?
And I know Mike and I and you and Dom and are doing our best to research it, but. And I've said this before on the show that we won't know until we go through it a year.
Right.
Until you really get an understanding of these coaches, how things work, how things shake out, how the Bison will stack up. The Phil Steele's all-conference team came out.
Yeah.
How do you measure FCS guys with FBS guys in preseason teams?
I agree.
That to me is interesting. It's a total guess, obviously.
Right. I think I was reading that the other day, and there's an article on inform.com about it. There's 11 total guys in Phil Steele's Mountain West preseason all-conference list, if you will, and Keenan Wilson is the only one as a first-team all-conference member, which I think speaks to, and we just heard from Logan Larson and this defensive line, talked about how great they're going to be. Defensive line looks like it's going to be the strong suit.
I think, Sam, that expectations are being lowered a little bit on the national scope, which they should be after, like, Brett McMurphy came out and
there was
said
a big
they'll
boom
be
right away
favored in every game, and we're like, wow, where's this coming from? So now I think that now they're looking more into this team, maybe doing a little better research on who they lost, talk to the Bison, who they lost, who they have coming back, new quarterback, all those things. So, and I think it's getting more realistic to me that, you better temper expectations a little bit just because we don't know.
Right. I'm going to tread water when I say this, and when you look at preseason conference or all-conference lists like that, and 11 guys. Nate Tosted was a second-team all-conference guy, and there's no knock on Nate. Great player. He's going to develop into something pretty big on the offensive line, but has he proven enough to be a second-team all-conference guy? And I think that's why you have to take these with a grain of salt, if you will. And,
yep.
Because Griffin Empey was a third-team guy, and he's been around the block for a while. You know what I mean? So I agree what you're saying there. Got to temper expectations, and we just don't know until a year goes out. But in total, defensive line, Logan, Keenan, in that group is going to be pretty impressive. There's no doubt. Now, there was a big story out of this weekend with North Dakota State football I wanted to touch on earlier this morning, but didn't get the chance to. How much do you know about Bismarck Century offensive line play? Because they just got a guy coming over to NDSU, and Peyton Seil announced his commitment over this last weekend.
Century's had huge guys for a long time. I don't know what they do over there in Bismarck, in central Bismarck. because they get some big dudes. What did they average? It was something like 287
You're
or something.
seeing some of the Dakota Bowl footage here. I had the opportunity to call this game. Obviously, it didn't go their way against Fargo Davies, but this is an offensive line that had like 280 rush yards a game, and Sile is 6'6", 285, and he's still got another year of high school left to go, and I think that was, probably 6'4", close to 300 across that offensive line. If you look at the video here, these guys are huge.
Well, hard for me to sit here and judge what an offensive lineman's doing in Bismarck Century, but I'll say this, and it's an easy thing to say, is NDSU knows offensive linemen, and they know how to find in-state offensive linemen. They've done that now for a long time. So you're not going to doubt Tim Paulsek's evaluation of this guy. I think he's an up-and-comer, correct?
I think so.
He's getting better. I mean, he's came on in camps here, and I think he's one of these guys that maybe if you compared him to this or at this point last year, probably wasn't on radars maybe.
Right.
Just sort of came on in his off-season stuff.
I think, and Dom's got the story on Peyton on Inform.com, and I think if I have the gist of it right, he came in, and this is why camp weeks are so important for athletes in their junior year heading into their senior year, can get that impression one last time on these coaches and try to get some offers. If I remember right, he grew buzz at the UND camp. And then in total this week, I think he's been offered 6 times this week, and leaves with the North Dakota State offer. These camps are huge for these kids.
Well, yeah, and obviously it goes because you can coach them. You can coach them in this camp. You can see how they react to coaching, because it's one thing to look at tape like we just saw here, but it's another thing to look the kid in the eye and see what kind of intensity he has, how he responds to, is he working harder, is he timid? I mean, all those things, all those intangibles that you can't really see on film.
Right.
And so obviously they saw him in camp, saw what they liked, and said, boom, let's go.
And I think the other part of it that you mentioned is, okay, we're moving to, or NDSU is moving to the FBS. That opens up a brand new recruiting footprint, but still the focus is getting local guys like Peyton
you still need your absolutely,
and Drew Kessel, who's coming in after his time with Moorhead now, which I think is still pretty cool that they're doing that.
Yeah, and I go back to the Kessel thing, and again, these are all verbals. So NDSU already lost a guy to Wisconsin last week, and an offensive lineman,
that's
guy
true,
from Pewaukee. So you got to remember they're just verbals, but to get a guy like Drew Kessel was a huge victory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're seeing guys going Power 4 now out of this state.
Yeah, it's the big trend now, A couple Kindred guys going to Power 4. Moorhead, their whole team's going to the University of Minnesota. Now Kessel's with Moorhead, too. I know you and Dom talked about Moorhead last week, but I'm very curious to see what that football team's going to do this upcoming year. Are they going to score in 3 plays, then have to play defense for the rest of the game? We'll see.
Well, defense. I mean, it's you can score 60 a game, but if you give up 63, it's not going to do you a whole lot of good.
Right. You and I, we talked about this just briefly in the commercial break. I do want to get your thoughts on this. I know it's beating the dead horse at this point when it comes to other topics surrounding college football. The Brendan Sorsby deal that's been going on for the last couple of months now. He was deemed eligibility to play after this whole gambling scandal was going on. I know you have an article up on Inform.com on Gene Taylor's thoughts on this situation. There's a new development coming out today that the Big 12 has filed a legal complaint in federal court against Texas Tech and the Texas Attorney General on trying to put some sanctions down on Texas Tech. This is just an interesting deal. And
interesting putting it politely.
Yeah, right. It really is. When you look at the precedents that all this sets in college football, it's not trending in a good spot. What's your thoughts on everything going on?
Well, first of all, when you bet on your own team,
that's not good.
That's not a thing that you probably want around your team. I found it interesting that the judge is from Lubbock, Texas, which is right. It's where Texas Tech is at.
Right.
It's like a little home cooking here, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, where are and Gene Taylor gave a couple expletives when he was contacted by Ross Dallinger earlier last week. And I did a big story on gambling and football last fall.
Yes.
In one of the pregame shows or pregame stories. And I talked to Gene about that, who's been an outspoken critic of that. So, and I actually referenced a couple quotes when I did from that story last fall. And Gina's right. I mean, get the kid some help.
Right.
I mean, obviously, when you're betting, when he's at Indiana, and you're betting on your own team, and then it goes deeper too, Sam, because these kids now have so much money.
Yeah.
With NIL.
Yeah.
They have money now.
But he was getting millions to go to Texas Tech.
Yeah, they have money. So they have money to spend and money to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a slippery slope. And furthermore, and Gene brought this up, that say you're good buddies with, say you're a K-State basketball player.
Right.
And one of your best buddies went early in the draft as a first-round draft pick. And so you remain good buddies. And he texts you like on the morning of a game, say he's with the Spurs, and says, nobody knows this, but I tweaked my knee and I'm not going to play tonight.
Right.
Well, that's inside information.
Yeah, right?
At
You're down a slippery
levels.
slope at that point.
And now with prop bets, I don't know, can you have a prop bet? I don't gamble, but can you have a prop bet with a kid not playing? Or a guy?
I think you can bet like the under on his point totals, essentially, if that makes sense. You know?
Well, I would bet the under then if he's not going to play.
Exactly. It's a really interesting deal. And in that article that you wrote, and one of the quotes he told Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports is that this is one of the dumbest decisions to ever come out of the NCAA. And I look at the last couple of stories that have come out of college football, and especially here regionally. What have we learned so far? That it's okay to bet on your own team, and it's not okay to turn yourself in like UND did with their situation in their quote-unquote tampering deal.
I think we learned that some Putz judge in Lubbock, Texas has more power than the NCAA.
Yeah.
I guess.
Right? Is that what we're going on?
God.
Texas Tech put out a 22-minute video last week with all the big administration heads, coaching staff, athletic directors, and president trying to explain this situation. And I understand a part of it where they went on hey, this isn't our fault. We didn't know he had the problem, but we're trying to help him. But still, in the sense, you have the ability to put the hammer down on this and say it's not okay, right? It's an interesting deal. What's going on in college football is a wild time.
NDSU, what they do every year in their preseason stuff, I think when they get together in the first week of fall camp, and I think Colleen Heimstad does this, is they address that.
Yeah.
They have like a little mini seminar with the team on gambling, its ramifications, its problems. And if you have an issue, let us know. We'll get you help. And so I think they do their best to address it right away.
It's very easy to get wrapped up in that world, especially in that impressible age that they're at. You know, it's a fun thing to do, to go to the game. And I know I've done it a couple of times here and there. But in a case where you're an athlete, you got to be careful on that because it's much bigger than yourself at this point, potentially hurting the team. With that being said, let's take a break. Jeff Kolpack joining us on this Monday morning. When we come back, I want to chat a little golf. You cool with that?
Good. What a show. Window washing to gambling.
Yeah.
We're doing it all.
Yeah, we're covering all our bases on a Monday. Let's get the week started off hot. All right, Hot Mike continues after this.
This is Hot Mike with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
No Dom this week. Sam Getzinger filling in for Dom while he's got the week off. Jeff Kolpack is back with us on this Monday morning.
I can't wrap my head around this drone. I can't get it out of my mind that Logan Larson's drone.
Still eating away
So
at
it's
you?
a drone that washes or sprays the window, but so you wash the window, but do you wipe the window? Or how do you dry the window? Or is there water spots?
I hope there's not water spots.
There's probably not water. So
I would assume there's not water spots. I would assume there's a squeegee on there somewhere. But I'm sure Polasek would have some other words if they're making them cable. You've seen the guys who clean the cable up there and try to wipe them. I'm sure he wouldn't be too fond of that with the injury risk there. But I don't know. Should we get Logan back on the horn?
Yeah.
Ask him about this
He's
drone.
turned into the most interesting football player in decades.
I think so.
With this drone thing.
He's definitely one of the busiest. There's no doubt. Logan Larson, if you missed that conversation, you can catch it podcasted later on with what he's doing with luxury exteriors. So we'll have to get the final word.
Can you figure that out for me? I won't be able to sleep tonight unless I find this out.
I'll shoot him a text.
How do you wipe the window?
How does this work?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll frame it just like that. How do you wipe
by the way,
window?
I got a text message. How are your bunions doing, by the way?
My bunions are... let's just get that out of the way as we're getting ready for a new year. I personally don't have bunions.
Oh, you don't?
I've been asked that a lot. How are my bunions doing? I don't but I know how to point you in the right direction to get some help for bunions. My toes are fine, in case you're wondering. And get that question probably once a game day.
You do.
How are my bunions doing? Or just, this is my favorite when they just yell out from the stands, bunions. Bunions! And that's it. Just yell that out.
Well, you got that. Your legacy is cemented.
I'm so happy. That and Dave Richmond telling me they don't care about MSU.
Well,
those are the two best things
He told
I've
me
done
I was 50 inches tall, so that was at the NCAA tournament
that was
in front of everybody.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. A couple topics I want to touch on here in the couple of minutes that I have with Jeff left on this Monday morning. We're going to have Louis-Lys Fanucchi from the University of North Dakota join us in a couple of minutes after his performance at the NCAA Track and Field Championships. Zach McGlynn and Paul Olson, couple of decathletes for North Dakota State, wrapped up their weekend in Oregon.
And Paul Olson, the Elite 90 award that goes to which is amazing. I mean, that cannot go understated. That it's the highest GPA among that's all athletes.
Right. 14th and 18th is what they finished respectively.
From small towns,
exactly.
Too. Yeah, Stephen, Minnesota.
That's pretty impressive,
Kindred.
Isn't it?
Well, it's incredibly impressive.
Right.
And one of 4 schools to have multiple athletes in the top 20. Top 24 qualify. It's not like 100.
Right.
I mean, top 24 qualify. And it just and Zach was a walk-on who didn't give himself much credit when he walked on. And then and Paul was, I thought, more of a basketball player, but he obviously made the right choice. And he knew he made the right choice when he got this. But it's coaching. The Bison for years had really good coaching with multi-athletes. It starts with Stevie Keller, who himself was a multi-athlete.
Yeah.
And so it's just and a lot of these guys, they come, they don't know. I mean, was it Paul? He never pole vaulted.
Right.
You
can had to learn that.
That to me seems like a rather intimidating thing to pick up when you're 18 years old.
It scares me just watching it.
I know.
McGlynn's a very good pole vaulter.
How do they do that?
I really don't understand the physics of how it happens, but McGlynn is a very good pole vaulter from what I found out over this last weekend. Both of them are pretty good in the javelin as well. And you're right. To finish in the top 20 for the both of them, coming from a mid-major school like North Dakota State, coming from small towns, is really impressive. And if you watch the track and field championships over the weekend, it's pretty easy to see that the rest of the field are world class, and some of them Olympic level athletes, and the fact that these two are right in the mix with them, tip of the cap to them.
And I think learning, like you saw the javelin clip there, the technique. It's just technique.
Right.
You know,
it's not just throwing a baseball as far as you can.
Or running as fast as you can around a track, although there's techniques to running, obviously. But just I just think the javelin and the pole vault and high jump and those techniques are just, the details are just so beyond what we know.
Right. How far could you throw a javelin, you think? You ever tried that before?
No.
I would like to see that.
I don't know if I'd want to
I
anymore.
want to see you play the college football video game and then throw a javelin. So we'll get that on your summer.
Are you a video head?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so you'd stomp me like a bug.
I would like to think so. It's the only game I own. If that may, like when it came back, college football 25 came back. Because that was my childhood growing up, the old college football games, and then it went away for a while, and now it's come back. That's my thing. I enjoy that more than Madden, if you even know what Madden is.
I do.
Okay, well
I know what it is.
Surprising. It's surprising. And no, I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing this play. It sounds like you, Dom, and Mike are going to have a
just old school. We are just so old school. Yeah.
I find it hilarious every day. Dom, he put the story out last week talking about it. You guys have talked about it on the show. I just love listening to you guys talk about the video game world. You're
just rolling your eyes.
I love it. I love it.
Guys
there's financial benefits to the whole deal and whatnot. It's going to be pretty cool when that comes out. We're a couple of weeks away from the Bell Bank Red River Amateur Tournament. Have you had an opportunity to look into that at all? Look into the field, look into what's going in this year's tournament?
Not totally yet. I'm going to have Chris Howell and Chris Larson on my golf show this weekend and my golf radio show, so I'll get more into that. But it's going to be one of the better fields. Rose Solberg's going to play in it.
Yeah.
And, and they've really tried hard and done a good job of getting a better women's field.
Yeah.
And that was kind of one of their aims, is to get a better women's field, and I think they've done that. And so you're always getting the best college players around, but it's they do a good job. We're going to televise it 3 days, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like 15 hours or something like that.
Something like that. We're going to be out there. Hopefully the weather responds unlike
I've been out there
like
a drenched duck out there, just getting sopped.
You weren't there last year, were you?
No.
Right? Yeah, it was hot. It was hot.
I'll take hot over wet and rainy.
There was also like a derecho that came in after the first day and wiped everything out, so they had to figure that out. And luckily, we were able to play the rest of the weekend. But this is a great tournament. They've grown year in and year out. It's funny you mentioned Rose Solberg. I wanted to ask you about her, the teenager from Davies, who's most recently Miss Golf Award recipient.
Yeah, which was 2 weeks ago, right?
Is she going to be the next star to come out of the Metro?
Well, she has a chance. I mean, she's going to Minnesota. It's obviously good training there, and she'll play in good high-level competitions. I think she has the right mentality. I had her on my show last week, and she, for a high school kid her age, well, she's not high school anymore, but a kid her age, to carry a radio show for 18 minutes with me is pretty good. That's tough to do.
It's impressive.
And that was impressive. And so I think she has the maturity to do that. But you just got to keep getting better. It's hard. Mm-hmm. Golf is just so hard.
She won, 21 tournaments in her time at Davies, and she's going to the University of Minnesota. And so maybe we'll see.
She's going in I think the Carlson School of Business or Economics, which is
good.
Something you and I would never qualify for.
No, definitely got rejected from that. Yeah. So I can't even come close to that. Before I let you go, do you got U.S. Open thoughts on this weekend at all?
Not really. I guess Tom's. I don't even think he made the field.
I don't think so. I haven't looked yet, but
he's been inconsistent this year. And and Amy, now that she's done with her career, I just haven't followed. Certainly LPGA like I used to. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. It's a different animal now.
Kate Smith's been in a couple tournaments from Detroit Lakes, but
Nelly Korda's the top name, I believe, in the LPGA, and this weekend's U.S. Open is at Shinnecock, which is a controversial course for this to be at. Granted, it's tight and not very playable or scoreable, I should say. So
I'm going to stick to playing golf with Chuck Foreman.
Yeah, how was that, by the way? Was it?
Yesterday. They had the Vikings Legends with the Homeward Animal Shelter, and Chuck didn't play because he just had surgery on his knees, but he drove around the whole time with us, and what a great guy. He's 75 years old now.
Really? Did you get
so I'm writing a column on him, actually.
Okay. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Did you get some good stories from them, I imagine?
Well, yeah. He told me a couple things on Bud Grant, and, so Chuck, I know we got to go, but Chuck, his career was 73 to 81, and I was an elementary kid in the 70s. And so we used to play Cough It Up. You ever play Cough It Up where a bunch of kids, if you get tackled, you got to fumble it?
Yeah.
So we were all doing the number 44, the spin doctor move that Chuck Foreman patented.
Really?
So we were all Chuck Foreman.
There you go. I would pay to see that.
Do kids even do that anymore?
No, I've never heard of that.
Cough it up?
No, I think I think it's got a different term that I'm not allowed to say on the air, so I'll leave it at that. But we'll talk about it in the break. Jeff, I appreciate your time. Thanks for hopping on this Monday morning. Let's take a break. We're due for one. When we come back, Louis-Lys Fanucchi joining us, talk about his time out in Oregon at the NCAA Track and Field Championships. That's coming up next. Back on a beautiful start to this Monday morning. We'll wait and see when the rain comes around. Big thank you to Logan Larson and Jeff Kolpack for joining us on this Monday morning so far on Hot Mic. Appreciate you for joining us however you are. WDAY Extra, Inform.com, KSFL TV in Sioux Falls, and KNBN in Rapid City. Looking forward to our next guest here. We've been doing little bits and pieces of recapping what happened at the NCAA Track and Field Championships in Oregon over this last weekend. There is one story that really stood out to me, and that comes out of the University of North Dakota up there in Grand Forks. They sent over a distance runner from France who put together one heck of a weekend, and that is Louis-Lys Fanucchi joining us here on this Monday morning, straight back from Oregon a couple of days ago, competing in the 3,000-meter steeplechase and had a really good showing there. A newly crowned second-team All-American. Louis, I appreciate you for taking some time this morning and joining us. Describe this last weekend. What was that like for you?
It was like a lot of discoveries, a brand new state, a brand new stadium. So we took the time to go around and discover it while running. But yeah, it was also a crazy experience for first NCAAs.
Yeah, no doubt. Was able to watch a little bit and watch you run. Tell us about your ability on the track over the last couple of days. You had a time of 8:55.74 in the finals, greatly improving on your times previously in the year. How do you assess, or how do you feel like you ran while you were out in Oregon this weekend?
Pretty well. I definitely have to push myself to the limits to be able to fight with those guys, and that's always nice. So I beat my time by a lot on the prelims to qualify, and I'm always happy to be there, be the best that I can be, especially on the national stage.
Were you nervous at all going into this, or did you feel pretty confident that you'd be able to put up some good times?
There is always a bit of nervousness because of it's such a big meet, but you have to stay at least somewhat confident in what you're able to do to not fall under the pressure.
I was curious about this because obviously you had a great run in the prelims in the 3,000-meter steeplechase to get into the finals. What's more, or has more pressure, I should say, running in the prelims to get to the finals, or running in the finals race to get a high finish? Are you able to differentiate which one had a little bit more pressure?
I'd say it's probably equivalent, but like the prelim, I entered the prelim not knowing I will go to the final, so there was maybe not so much pressure. Just I came here with nothing to lose, just trying to prove what I could do. So in the final, I already kind of proved that I was deserving to be here. But still, it's like, because it's the final, there is maybe just a tad more pressure that you can't really get off.
Again, Louis-Lys Fanucchi joining us from the University of North Dakota after his performance at the NCAA Track and Field Championships in Oregon over this last weekend. I saw at the conclusion of this weekend, you are the first male athlete from the University of North Dakota to make the finals, and you now have the highest finish in school history. How proud of you are? How proud are you of that stat, knowing that you're the first guy to wear a Fighting Hawks uniform and be able to do that?
I'm definitely very proud of all the work accomplished to go there, thanks with coach and the team. And also we are following the legacy of Luc Labat that a few years ago did qualify to nationals on the same event. So hopefully we're going to keep sending guys that are going to finish higher and higher in the championship. So proud to be among the first people to do that.
3,000-meter steeplechase, has that been your favorite event for a long time? How'd you get into this event?
It's actually pretty recent for me. Coach really pushed me to go towards the steeplechase. I'm more of a miler on the like by myself, but coach told me that there was a much higher chance to qualify to nationals with steeplechase, and I guess he wasn't wrong.
There's no doubt. Does this motivate you to get back there next year and the year after that, and continue to have a higher finish and become a first-team All-American in the future?
Oh, definitely, yeah. As I like to say, we're always hungry for more. So definitely I have a bit of a bittersweet moment in the final, because I kind of got dropped from the pack, but yeah, we're gonna get back next year and hopefully take a better place at the end.
Look forward to watching you, no doubt. Louis, I got to ask you, and I mentioned it before, you're from France. How in the world did you end up in Grand Forks? What's the story of how you got to the States and how North Dakota found you?
It's kind of funny because I wouldn't have guessed that I would have went to the US and even less North Dakota. But basically on my at the end of my junior year of high school, a company contacted me and they told me they were making contact in between the athletes and the universities. So I tried my shot, and one of the first schools to contact me was actually North Dakota with Coach Scott. And we seem to get along pretty well. And told me the team was pretty nice, so I just hopped in and I came here.
Did you know anything about the University of North Dakota or the state in general before coming here, or was this all a blind experience?
Mostly a blind experience. I didn't know anything really about North Dakota. I knew this was a state, but nothing much more. And for the US, I obviously with the movies and series and everything, I knew a bit, but I've never been there before, so definitely a blind experience.
So you hadn't been to the United States prior to coming here to run track and field?
Nope.
Wow. Okay, what are the thoughts on this? Of course, we got the World Cup here in the United States as a co-host, and I keep seeing videos of people from Europe coming over and an eye-opening experience. Did you have something like that? Was there culture shock for you at all coming to the States for the first time?
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's like the first thing I said when I first got here, I think, was, "Oh, look at the size of the roads." It's like that's pretty crazy. And especially in North Dakota, and same like the big pickups, it's kind of almost a cliche in a way, but it's like always impressive to see those differences, like architecturally talking.
I hear a lot that the food is completely different. Can you confirm that the food is way different than it is in Europe?
Yeah, it's definitely is. Like over Europe already, depending on where you are, it's going to be very, very different. But here it's really something else. The portions are much bigger, and it's something to get used to, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm a prime example of the portions being larger. That's for sure. I keep seeing people going to Walmart for the first time, and it's a brain popping experience of just how big a Walmart is. Has there been a favorite place that you've been to in the United States so far?
You mean food-wise?
Just in general, that in your travels across the country, has there been a place that you thought, "Oh, this is a pretty cool state"?
I think it's pretty hard because there are a lot of cool states around here.
Yeah.
Even North Dakota is pretty cool in some ways. Like there is like beautiful sunset and a lot of nice people. But overall, I would say like the classic California, Colorado, Arizona, Texas are pretty nice. Like a lot of nice landscapes, a lot of beautiful things to see.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're able to see the sights and everything. You and I were talking off air. You were counting how many states you went to, and you've been to more than I have. So you're traveling very well across the United States of America. I want to turn it back to track and field here for just a second. We've talked to Jaden Keeler on this show last week heading into the track and field championships. Are you able to cross paths when training with her, and what's it like being a part of this with her and knowing how dominant she is in distance events?
Yeah, we definitely get like we train. We have like the same hours for training, so we do train together, and especially more with Jaden since she's like she's just so good that she's just joining the guys on the training. So often she's gonna be in the pack. So it's kind of awesome to have her here, and yeah, there is kind of a crazy difference in between how she acts and how like the titles she have. Like she's like just so good, and it's kind of crazy to think about it. But we forget that she has so many All-American titles since she's just super humble and super nice at the track.
Yeah, you two are some phenomenal athletes that we've had the opportunity to watch now, especially over this season. 2 great years for both you and Jaden Keeler. Louis, congratulations on a great performance this last weekend. My understanding that you're heading back home to France today, so I know you got to get busy packing for that, but I appreciate you coming on this morning.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Absolutely. Louis-Lys Fanucchi joining us from the University of North Dakota after a great performance at the NCAA Track and Field Championships. Did we get all that? That was awesome. Thick accent on Louis. That was fun to talk to. Even off the air, as I mentioned, he was telling me all the states that he's been to, and you know how bad I am at geography. He was knocking it out of the park He's been to probably 7 more states than I have. And great conversation there with Louis after finishing as a second-team All-American at the 3,000-meter steeplechase this last weekend at the NCAA Track and Field Championships in Oregon. With that being said, let's take another break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up on this Monday morning, get you out the door, get you rolling for the rest of the week. That's coming up when we come back. Welcome back to this Monday morning edition of Hot Mic. Wrapping up the morning here as we get started on another week. Again, if you could not tell or haven't noticed yet, Sam Getzinger filling in for Dom Izzo, who is out for the week, enjoying some time with his family. Much deserved vacation for sure. So we will see him back next week. In the meantime, stuck with me for the next 4 days now after this one. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the way. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, no doubt. Big thanks again to Logan Larson, Jeff Kolpack, and Louis-Lys Fanucchi for joining us on this Monday morning. Before we get into our What to Watch, I did want to circle back on a topic we spoke to Jeff about, and that is with the latest in the Brendan Sorsby gambling situation and what's going on with him in Texas Tech. Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports put out the story today that the Big 12, they have filed a legal complaint in federal court against Texas Tech and the Texas AG, seeking judgment and a preliminary injunction to enforce its bylaws and potentially sanction the school for its plans to play Brendan Sorsby. Now, looked in, he also has the complaint in the story as well. And what's interesting to me, kind of maps out what the possible sanctions could be. In the complaint, it says it could be monetary sanctions and or a ban on competing in the Big 12 championship game if they play Brendan Sorsby, who, if you're not familiar, is one of the top quarterbacks in college football, expected to be this upcoming season, at least was going into the transfer portal out of Cincinnati and now going to Texas Tech, and has since found out that there has been some gambling issues in his time at Indiana and beyond, where he was gambling on teams that he was on. That's the firm line there. Was granted eligibility after at first being told, no, you're not going to be able to play college football. Now, in the wake of this legal filing, it appears that the Big 12 presidents and chancellors are going to meet this afternoon, where options, including sanctioning Texas Tech, are expected to be discussed. There will be no decision expected today. Again, that's coming from Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports. So we'll keep tabs on this interesting situation with Texas Tech and see if there is any hammer that's going to be put down on the university and on Brendan Sorsby after all this news has been going on for the last couple of months. Before we get into our What to Watch, I wanted to quickly put up our poll question for today. Put it out earlier this morning. What was the bigger championship surprise outcome? Was it Knicks in 5 or Carolina in 6? It is a resounding Knicks in 5, and I'm not shocked by that. I would agree. I would assume that is the correct answer. I do think there's a small case that Carolina in 6 was pretty surprising. Granted, the conditions of having a young goalie and going up against Vegas, honestly, it's surprising in the fact that I thought they would get it done in 4, but they did. But you guys have spoken. Knicks in 5 is the more surprising outcome, and I think that's the right call. All right, What to Watch, and then we'll get out the door on this Monday morning. Didn't talk about the Twins today. They had a series win against the Cardinals over the weekend. If I'm not mistaken, it's their first one since like the beginning of the month, so good on the Twins. They are now on the road in Texas. 7:05 first pitch. You can catch that on Twins TV. We'll give you a recap of that game coming up tomorrow. Spain and Cape Verde. Did I get that right? I couldn't tell you where it is, but they're playing in the World Cup pretty soon, in about 4 minutes. 11 o'clock on Fox. And then we also have more College World Series action. Texas and Alabama kick things off. 1 o'clock first pitch for that on ESPN. And may I add, the College World Series has been pretty exciting this year to start. I've only caught a couple of games. I saw the West Virginia and Troy matchup to start the College World Series. Thought that was fantastic. Troy and Ole Miss had a great go at it the other day. Ole Miss is now knocked out of the tournament, and they are no longer in contention for a national championship. But how about Troy, the mid-major school, making a boom at the College World Series championship? We'll give you updates on that as the week goes on. In the meantime, that'll do it on this Monday morning. Once again, big thank you to Logan Larson for joining us, Jeff Kolpack, and Louis-Lys Fanucchi joining us on this Monday morning. If you missed any part of the show, you can podcast it on inform.com later on today. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the week. Hopefully you stay dry. There might be some rain coming in. You'll have to watch the news and figure out the whole weather forecast. Don't get it from me. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Monday.